It's all noise inside a busy lead-cut crystal glassworks. Expert craftsmen blow and cut the glass in the traditional way alongside the most up-to-date mixing, melting and finishing machinery. In the cut glass industry, craft skills are not displaced by modern technology, but are complemented by it. Crystal has been made in the Stourbridge area since the early 17th century, when gentlemen glassmakers, originating from the Lorraine district of France, settled here. They used local fire clay for their melting pots and used coal to fire their furnaces instead of wood. A glass house was built near the site of the Royal Briley Works in about 1740. In the early 19th century, this was leased to the forebears of the present Williams Thomas family, who still head the firm now called Royal Briley Crystal. Glasshouse cones over the furnaces were once a familiar feature of the Stourbridge landscape, but modern glass furnace technology has made the cone obsolete. Royal Briley is one of the few firms to make its own glass melting pots. The pots are built up in succession, and in this way each one takes about 8 weeks to complete. With few tools, the pot maker relies on hand and eye to build a crucible strong enough to withstand the intense heat of the furnace. The humid atmosphere of the pot room allows the pots to dry out slowly. Every Friday afternoon, one pot in each furnace is changed. The furnacemen begin by pulling down the wall in front of the old pot. When the old pot has been removed, the sound of a trolley heralds the arrival of the new pot for the glass house. The pot must now be accurately aligned before the furnace wall can be rebuilt. Each day, when the glass blowers have finished work, the molten glass remaining in the pots is ladled out, ready for recharging with fresh raw materials. The ingredients, silver sand, red lead and potash, are carefully weighed and thoroughly mixed. And these, together with clear broken glass, are shoveled into the pot. "36 hours later, the glass is ready for the glass blowers, whose day begins at 6 in the morning. Different articles are blown in different areas of the large glass house. molten glass is taken from pots in the central furnace by men working in teams around the head craftsman's chair. To make a large wine glass, the blower collects molten glass from within a floating ring inside the pot and takes it to a bench where he rolls it. He blows a small air bubble into the glass and takes it to a mold where the full bowl shape of the wine glass is blown. The senior craftsman's chair is like a lathe, not a mechanical one, which would throw the glass out of shape, but a human one. His fingers give the rotary motion needed to make and preserve the exact shape wanted. Molten glass is brought for the stem and foot. He knows by experience how much to use and shapes it with the simple tools by his side. The completed wine glass is knocked off the iron blowpipe and taken to be cooled. Larger objects, like decanters, are partly shaped at the glass blower's chair and fully blown in a mould. Glass blowers' moulds of all shapes and sizes are stored in a kind of library near the glasshouse. They're kept in prime condition by cleaning with a wax oil mixture and dusting with sawdust. Ashtrays and some rose bowls are fully hand-blown and shaped without moulds. Cream jugs are also made this way. After the first shape is formed, the blower's rod is removed and a new rod is fixed to the base for the next stage of working. But the jug must first be reheated. The senior craftsman gives the jug its characteristic shape with trim top, spout, and finally the handle. Each piece of crystal glass is cooled gently as it passes slowly through an annealing oven. This stops it becoming brittle. Then each piece is checked for quality. Drinking glasses are placed in modern multi-head processing machines which trim and smooth the rims. Before the pattern can be cut, guidelines for the design must be drawn. So to the cutting shop, the noisiest part of the works. Glass cutters have different wheels for cutting different articles and patterns. The cutter often has to sharpen his wheel to ensure a clean cutting edge. Most of the glass at Royal Brierley is cut in two stages. The first cuts are made by the rougher, using a wet carborundum wheel which revolves towards him. The smoother polishes and completes the rough cut design. His wheel revolves away from him. The finishing touch on this large wine glass is the fan pattern. Seen in close-up, the roughed glass looks white and the points don't meet exactly. On the smoothed glass, the points meet and the lines are crisper. Larger items are cut in exactly the same way. Flowing designs are made by intaglio cutters who do the entire operation on one wheel, while copper wheel engraving is used for special commemorative wear. Acid polishing cleans and restores the brilliance of cut lead crystal. After a few minutes, they're washed, unloaded and dried by hand. Each glass receives a final inspection. The glass is labelled and is given the special Royal Brierley mark before being wrapped and boxed. Royal Brierley crystal is exported all over the world. Glass is distributed to high-quality shops and stores in the home market. The company controls some of its retail outlets, such as the factory shop and many concession shops in department stores with specially trained staff. The weight of full lead crystal and the brilliance of the crisp-edged patterns distinguish real handmade cut crystal from the dull pressed imitation. The lights reflected in the intricate hand-cut patterns are the true trademarks of Royal Brierley crystal. It is, above all, a proof of the skills of the royal glassmakers.